Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers. Our top story tonight has to do with that off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to bring a passenger plane down. He's now out of jail. Joseph Emerson declined to speak with media, but plans to return home to Northern California while awaiting trial. This morning, the 44-year-old was arraigned on a single felony count of endangering an aircraft and 83 misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. Prosecutors claim the off-duty pilot, seated in a cockpit jump seat, tried to bring down a commercial flight from Everett to San Francisco on October 22nd. The plane, with 83 other passengers and crew on board, made an emergency landing in Portland. According to his lawyers, Emerson claims he never intended to hurt anyone. They say he'd been struggling with depression and took hallucinogenic mushrooms 2 days before the incident. The case brought new attention to pilot mental health.
I'm saddened and that this situation had to happen to my husband and to these people that it affected, but I know that this has created a movement and momentum to help thousands of other pilots and people in mental health situations, in jobs that are in a sense silenced, or it's disincentivized to go get help and care.
In a highly unusual move, Emerson, his wife, and a defense medical expert testified before the grand jury. Emerson is pleading not guilty. He's due back in court January 19th. All right, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Authorities have identified the victims of a murder-suicide in Clark County. The sheriff's office says 64-year-old Stuart Rouse killed his wife, Christina, two daughters, Melissa and Christina, and his brother, Ronald, before killing himself. It happened on Sunday at a home on Northeast 92nd Street in the Orchards neighborhood. Deputies found everyone dead when they got there. And we want you to know, if you or someone you know is in crisis, know that there is help. You can call or text 988 on any phone. It'll connect you to a suicide prevention crisis center and a trained counselor. Portland police have arrested a man in a deadly shooting from last month. On November 15th, 25-year-old Justin Sarton was killed in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. 18-year-old Malachi Gant now faces murder charges. This case is still under investigation. And Amtrak service between Portland and Seattle is still suspended tonight due to a second landslide. The first landslide disrupted trains earlier in the week during our heavy rain and flooding. Amtrak had hoped to get them running again by this morning, but now a second landslide is causing these issues. The new goal is to get the tracks cleared by Saturday morning. A Multnomah County grand jury has indicted two Multnomah County corrections deputies related to the deaths of two inmates this year. Deputies James Brock Miller and Michael Merceru have each been charged on a single count of official misconduct in the first degree. The sheriff's office said the charge is related to two deaths that happened this year, but they declined to provide more details. Detectives on the case learned that both men may not have performed their job duties as required. In a statement, the sheriff's office says, quote, while an indictment is an accusation of a crime, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office takes all allegations of misconduct seriously, adding they will continue to cooperate with the district attorney's office. This indictment comes as 10 people have died in Multnomah County jails since the start of 2022. 7 happened just this year. The medical examiner has confirmed with KGW that one person died of acute cocaine poisoning, 3 deaths were due to natural causes, 2 others were suicides, and 4 deaths are still under investigation. Both Brock Miller and Merceru have been placed on administrative leave, which the sheriff's office says is standard practice. We want, of course, to update you, and we'll continue to do that once we learn more. Windows of a holiday display smashed in North Portland. The act of vandalism came just a day after it went up. Ashley Grams tells us why the store owner believes it was a targeted attack.
If you take a look around Sunland Lighting, you might hear someone say,
"Hey, how can I light your world today?"
That's owner Kay Newell, and she fittingly refers to herself as the light bulb lady. But Thursday morning, her store on Mississippi Avenue looked different.
When my son came in, he noticed it. And if you saw it, there's this big depression where something hit really hard.
Someone shattered one of the windows. Behind the glass sits a holiday display celebrating Jewish, Christian, and Islamic beliefs. Newell believes the damage to this display as Hanukkah begins is no coincidence.
They didn't hit any of our other displays, and it was taken out just after John put in this display. These items are, while they're very old, probably aren't worth a great deal of money, but they symbolize something that is very dear to many people's hearts.
Other windows at the shop showcase classic Christmas characters, and some even honor other world religions. Newell thinks this vandalism was targeted.
And right now, we have very serious wars going on in this world, fought among these same people. And it has trickled into the United States.
While she says this person won't accomplish their goal,
It did cost me a whole lot of money.
they have cost her a couple $1,000s. But Newell says she won't harbor anger over the damage.
My message to the person who did this, find the light in yourself. Share that, not the burden of hate.
Reporting in Portland, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.
All right. Well, workers at a Multnomah County Library say that they don't feel safe or supported at work. That's according to an audit by the county. Auditors found that since the start of the pandemic in 2020, the library has struggled to respond to the changing safety and security landscape, and that there's a high level of distrust between library workers and executives. The report noted that as people living in the county are dealing with housing and mental health crises, they're turning to libraries, which just aren't equipped to meet their needs. Workers say they've dealt with an increase in security incidents at libraries, including weapons, drug use, and people in crisis. Here are just a couple of examples listed on your screen. Staff members threatened with knives, having to respond to drug overdoses, and someone even hid in a library overnight with weapons. The report shows that in 2022, there were more than 2,000 incident reports submitted at Multnomah County Library locations. Now, the Central Library in downtown Portland had by far the highest number of security incidents reported to the auditors. Library staff members reported that the response to security incidents was unclear and inconsistent. The auditors recommended the library implement OSHA-compliant security responses and improve employee support, addressing staffing levels and equity after library construction is done, and to improve internal communications. We did reach out to the library. They told us they're going to implement the auditors' recommendations and say Multnomah County Library will keep working hard to be the library system its community needs and deserves, with its talented and dedicated staff at the heart of everything it does. You're watching KGW News at 11.